All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to talk about something called emotional math. And trust me, it's this super powerful way to figure out why we get stuck in life. And, the really important part, how to actually get free. So let's start with this big question, this paradox, really. I mean, we're all wired to run from pain and chase pleasure, right? It's like basic biology. So why on earth do we stay in situations that totally hurt us? The job we hate, the relationship that's just draining, the bad habits we can't seem to kick. What is going on there? Okay, so to figure that out, we've got to dig into what's called the pleasure-pain paradox. And in the process, we're going to bust a huge myth about why we get stuck. Because let's be real, the answer most people give, it's almost always wrong. So here's the myth. You just don't have enough willpower. We hear it all the time, right? Just try harder. But the reality, well, it's so much deeper than that. This isn't about willpower at all. The truth is, you've got this hidden equation, this kind of emotional math running in the background of your mind, and it's calling all the shots. And the number one rule of this whole equation, it's a little subtle, but it is absolutely crucial. See, we don't just run from any old pain. No, our subconscious mind is like this supercomputer, constantly calculating, and it's always steering us away from what it decides is the greatest pain, the biggest threat on the board. So, okay. Let's do it. Let's pull back the curtain on your hidden emotional math. It's time to actually see the secret logic that's been running your choices. And yeah, probably the limitations that have been shaping your life. Okay, listen up, because this right here, this is the absolute heart of it all. And it's so important to get this. This is not a conscious, logical choice. We're not talking about a pros and cons list. This is a deep, gut-level emotional calculation. So if you're staying put in a situation that hurts, it's because some part of you has decided that leaving, that the alternative, would be even more painful. Let's make this real with an example, a classic one. You're in a relationship, and consciously, you know it's not good for you. But deep down, your subconscious math has run the numbers, and it's defined the idea of being alone, that potential loneliness, as a bigger, scarier pain than the pain you already know. And so, you stay. Or what about your job? You dread Monday mornings, right? That pain is very real, but your subconscious might have looked at the alternative, quitting, and defined the pain of, say, financial uncertainty or just the fear of the unknown as a way bigger threat. And the result? You stick with the devil you know every single time. And this last one, wow, this one is huge. The pain of living a life that isn't really you, that can be crushing. But if your hidden mask decides that the pain of being judged by your friends, your family, by society is even worse, guess what? You'll choose to wear the mask. You'll hide your true self to avoid that greater perceived pain. But here's where it gets really good. Here's the cool part. Once you can actually see the math, once you understand the equation, you suddenly have the power to change it. This is the moment we shift from just talking about the problem to finding the solution. This is where the magic, the alchemy happens. And this is the key that unlocks the entire thing. Those definitions, what you've decided loneliness means, or uncertainty, or judgment, those aren't facts. They're not absolute truths written in stone. They are choices. They're definitions you made. And the best part? Since you made them, you have all the power you need to change them. I love this analogy because it just perfectly explains that internal tug of war. Your conscious mind, the part of you that wants to change, that's you with your foot slammed on the accelerator. You're ready to go. But that hidden definition of pain, that's the emergency brake pulled up tight. And you can rev that engine all day long, but you are going absolutely nowhere until you release that brake. So, how do you release the brake? You do it by asking yourself one radical question. And this question changes the entire game. It stops being about willpower and forcing yourself. It becomes about changing the belief underneath it all so that the thing you want to do actually becomes the easiest, most pleasurable path forward. And when you really get this, I mean, really let it sink in, that's when you start to shift from being a victim of your life to the creator of it. Understanding this emotional math, it's not just about changing a habit. It completely flips the script on how you see yourself and your power in the world. Think of it like a chain reaction, like dominoes falling. It all starts with one tiny push. Step 1, you change the definition inside your own head. Step 2, the feeling about it just changes automatically. You don't have to force it. Step 3, once the feeling is different, Your behavior just naturally follows along, no struggle involved. And boom, step 4, your entire experience of reality transforms. Now look, this can be a tough pill to swallow. I get it. But it is also the key to your absolute freedom. It means taking 100% responsibility. You stop blaming bad luck or other people or your circumstances. You realize that you are the one creating your experience, whether you've been doing it on purpose or not. And that means there's no one left to blame. So we have to stop asking the old question, the victim question. Why is this happening to me? You hear the powerlessness in that? It just gives everything away. It leaves you stuck, just waiting for the world to change for you. Instead, we start asking the new question, the creator's question. Why am I creating this experience? Can you feel the difference? It's revolutionary. It pulls all the power right back where it belongs, with you. Suddenly, you're not just the effect of your life, you are the cause. And if you're the cause, well, you can choose to cause something totally new. Okay, so you might be thinking, if I have all this power, why does making a change still feel so damn hard? Great question. And that brings us to our final piece, the effortless shift. We're going to talk about the single biggest trap that trips everybody up. And here is the big, mind-bending paradox. It's called the effort trap. The more you try, the more you struggle, the more you try to force the change, the more resistance you actually create. Your effort itself becomes the obstacle. It sends a giant signal to your brain that says, hey, this is hard, this is painful, which just reinforces the old emotional math. It's exactly like trying to force yourself to fall asleep. The harder you try, the more awake you get. Here's a better way to think about it. Imagine you want to listen to a different radio station. You wouldn't stand there and yell at the radio trying to force it to change the song, would you? Of course not. That's ridiculous. You just calmly turn the dial to a new frequency. And changing your life is exactly the same. You stop fighting with what is. You just tune your internal world, your definitions, to a new frequency, and a new reality starts to play. And maybe the most mind-blowing part of all of this, you're already doing it right now. Every single second of every day, you are the one creating your reality based on these deep-seated definitions. So this isn't some new skill you have to go out and learn. It's a power that's already inside you. The only thing you have to do is recognize it and start using it on purpose. So here's where we land. You are already the master of your reality. You're not failing at anything. In fact, you are perfectly creating a life that matches your hidden emotional math. The mastery is already there. So the only real question left is this: are you going to keep creating your life by accident, or are you ready to start creating it on purpose?